Greetings and salutations, YouTubers. This is ZillaFan85 back today doing my latest video. I'm doing another figure review, and for today I wanted to go ahead and review my Y-MSF 1965 Godzilla. In my last figure review, I reviewed the Y-MSF 1964 Godzilla, so I figured let's go ahead and, keep going in that mold at least and do the 1965 one. Those two are the only versions of Godzilla himself that I have from the Y-MSF line. Obviously I have a multitude of other Y-MSF figures, which I'll definitely be covering all of them. I've already covered a few of the ones that I have. I really love the Y-MSF figures. If any of you have followed along, you probably noticed that already. I know they're hit and miss for some people, but for me, I really happen to love them. Like I said, I think they do an awesome job with their figures. So this one I was definitely glad to get a hold of. He is pretty rare, but definitely a version of Godzilla that I love. I know Bandai released their own version. I know they did the Memorial Box one, I believe a standard release as well. I think so on that. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, what they did was really nice too. I really like that version of it, but just kind of to me, I just kind of like the Y-MSF one better than the Bandai one, so I really wanted to get a hold of this guy, and I was glad that I did. So I love the 65/66 Godzilla because it's essentially the same design. I know that they had to redo the head because it was used otherwise for Ultraman, what have you, and obviously since it was altered, they kind of had to make a new head, but they tried to replicate what they had done for the head from the 65 design. Of course, this Godzilla design in particular, I believe it's called the Daisenso Goji, and like I said, it's one that I really like. It's not my all-time favorite, but definitely pretty high up there. And yeah, I know the whole cookie, Cookie Monster, correlation there, or how he kind of looks, how he kind of does resemble that, which I do get. But either way, I just think he's awesome. And this design in particular from one of my all-time favorite Godzilla movies, that being none other than Godzilla vs. Monster Zero, or otherwise known as Invasion of Astro Monster. Definitely a Godzilla design that I really wanted in my collection. So like I said, it is pretty rare. Most of the Y-MSF figures are, they all have limited pieces, etc., etc. But I think they did a very, very nice job with this guy. Some people say he sort of resembles more the 66 incarnation from, which of course is from Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, or Ebirah Horror of the Deep, whichever you want to call it. But since they are essentially the same design anyway, to me it's kind of a wash. I just kind of always correlate it, since it is supposed to be the 65. So, but either way, though, like I said, it's the same. It's the Daisenso Goji. So let's go ahead and jump right into it here, as I've got the figure. We start with the paint job. It's got that nice charcoalish paint for Godzilla's skin, very signature of how he looks. This is the standard version. They have those alternate color schemes like the blue fin version, but I wanted the standard one, so that's what I got. So as you can see here, taking a look all around, again with the charcoalish skin. It's got some weird highlights. I noticed with the 64 one they did it as well, with these sort of like tannish or creamish colored highlights on his skin here, as you can see on the chest and abdomen area, on the kneecaps, and underneath on the underside of the tail. But it doesn't really take away from it. I think it's kind of cool the way that they highlight it like that, but doesn't draw from it too much, so I don't mind it. But I think otherwise the skin tone is very movie accurate. Otherwise, so as you can see here, you got the spines with that sort of almost grayish color for the outlines of them where the spiky parts are, and then of course you get that sort of rubbed in charcoalish color for the thicker part of the spines, as you can see going down his back there. Just making sure that's all in view, and then of course into the smaller ones here, as you can see, still a bit of that same patterning. Obviously just much smaller, so you're not going to get as much of the different color schemes there, but they're still kind of prevalent within it. And then of course on the face here you've got the eyes with the white and black eyes, white eyes with the black pupils. Very, very nicely done. I really think that he looks very, very signature of how he looks in his two film appearances that this is based off of. Inside the mouth, you've got that sort of deep red color for the roof and the underside of the mouth, as well as on the tongue. So you can see that there. You've got these sort of off-white color paint colors for the teeth. So as you can see those. So I would pretty much call it an off-white color for those, I think. And then of course for the claws, for the finger claws and the toe claws, we've got this similar to like the tannish color, but I think it's more of like a bone tan color, I think. If I had to kind of pick it apart a bit, that's what I would pretty much say. Again, you can see it there on the feet. So I think it's very, very nicely done. So certainly, like I said, signature of what Godzilla's supposed to look like. And of course, segueing with that, we'll jump right into the detail. And again, detailing here, you've got all of Godzilla's scaling all down his body. Here you've got some of these sort of bumps and flaps and folds going down his body, which I think is supposed to be reminiscent of the suit. So it's almost like a suit accurate sort of design. So that's really nice attention to detail there. I do like that they do that. So that's one thing I've definitely noticed with these Y-MSF figures. So you see you've got more of the folds and stuff on the legs going along, meshed in with the scaling here, as you can see, and the scaling is really nice. You could rub your finger on it, you can really feel it. It's not smooth, it's very rough textured, as you could imagine Godzilla's skin is. And then of course you got all the segmentations down the tail, on the upright side of it, on the top of it, and of course on the underside of the tail you can see the segmentations going down as well. Very, very nicely patterned, like I said, very nicely done for the spines. You got that main, the bigger row, and the outer smaller rows, and how they conjoin, or at least go and conjoin down into the tail like that. Very, very nicely done there. And even some of the spines too, like the points on them, the spikes on them, do actually feel not super sharp, but you definitely can feel that they try to at least give them that sort of sharp kind of feel, as you can imagine that they would have. And of course on the face, again, very nicely done. Seems very movie accurate to me. You know, the 65/66 Godzilla design. Just beautifully done here, I think. Like I said, when I saw this online, I really wanted to get a hold of it, and I was glad that I did. Of course, you got the rivets on top of his head here that sort of go down into his neck, into where they meet the spines. Very, very cool there. Like I said, the design for the eyes, which to me look very reminiscent of his movie appearance. Got the other sort of bumps and grooves on his face here. Very, very indicative of his look, along with his nostrils. And then, of course, on the mouth as well, like I said, and the detailing for the inside of the mouth and the tongue and everything. The teeth are not individually sculpted, but the way that they're painted, though, you know, certainly does the job, I think. So I definitely like it. And then of course on the hands, it is a little bit, I saw another review on this, it is a little bit strange why the fingers are kind of meshed together a bit, but it's not too much of a drawback though, and at least though, you know, you can see the sharp claws and everything, so It's just it's a little strange why they're meshed together, but it's not too bad though. And then of course on the feet, you've got the claws on the feet there. These are really awesome. These actually definitely do feel sharp because I can touch them with my finger and I can definitely feel the point. So you definitely get the point. So for real though, it's really nicely done, and very nice scaling on his feet as well on the bottom too, where you got the turn it over here for the Toho Copyright Limited, and of course the for the 1965 Godzilla design, as you can see here, and then of course made in Japan, Y-MSF. So see both of those there for the engraving, as they usually have in the Y-MSF figures. So I think that should about cover it for the detailing. And now, otherwise, we'll look at articulation, and he does have a few points. So, as with most of the Y-MSF figures, basic articulation. So the arms can both rotate, and they do go the full 360 degrees, as you can see there, all the way around. The legs, like some people say not to really mess with them too much. They can go forward and back. I just wouldn't go too far because they will have a tendency to pop out of the socket, and can be can be a bit of a hassle to put them back into place. But either way though, best to not have them pop out of place to begin with. So I would maybe do a little bit of motion forward and back, but I wouldn't mess with it too much. And then otherwise the tail can rotate, and that can safely go all the way around, as you can see there. So like I said, basic articulation, but not too bad. It definitely serves the purpose. And you can do some nice poses and what have you with them. And that about covers it. For sizing, like I said, I don't really mess too much with that. Or as I've stated in the past, I should say. But this figure, as most of the Y-MSF figures are, it's in the 6-inch range. So it'll fit in with, most other standard size figures that are in that scale. So with that pretty much covers all of that. He is, like I said, this is a pretty rare figure, so you can find him on eBay. Not in a lot of availability, but he can be found. It's just that he's going to cost you quite a bit of money, at least from all the sellers that I've seen online. You're talking well over 100, probably even over a couple hundred. So you got to, definitely beware that if you want to get this figure, it's definitely going to cost you. But I was very happy. I got him a little while back, and I was really happy when I did, because this was definitely a version of Godzilla that I wanted in my collection. So if you're in the market, I definitely recommend it, and I really recommend the Y-MSF figures in general because I happen to love them. That's only my opinion, of course. Some people are hit or miss with them, but I think Y-MSF, pretty much always knocks it out of the park, and I really like their figure set. So, like I said, definitely recommend it, and other than that, that pretty much does cover it. So, I definitely would like to thank you so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, please feel free to do so. If you would like to like and or comment on any of my videos, please feel free to do so as well. And just remember, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you be good to yourselves, and sayonara.